Today, we're diving deep into one of the most complex and heart-wrenching conflicts of our time. To truly understand what's happening, we need to look beyond the headlines and explore the history. The human cost and the global implications. This isn't just about maps and dates. It's about people, their lives, and their hopes for the future. So what are the roots of this conflict? The story begins decades, even centuries ago, with a complex tapestry of historical claims, cultural identities, and political grievances. After major global shifts in the 20th century, new borders were drawn and promises were made, often without full consideration for the people living on the land. This sowed the seeds of resentment and division. Over the years, a cycle of violence and retaliation began, with each side feeling victimized and justified in their actions. Key events, like specific wars, uprisings, and failed peace accords, added layers of mistrust and trauma, making a resolution harder and harder to reach. Economic disparities and control over vital resources like water and land also became major points of contention, fueling the fire. It's a tragic history where both sides have legitimate narratives of suffering and loss, creating a situation where simple black and white explanations just don't apply. Fast forward to today, and the situation on the ground is incredibly volatile. Recent escalations have led to some of the most intense fighting seen in years. Military operations are ongoing, with airstrikes, ground incursions, and rocket attacks becoming a grim daily reality for civilians caught in the middle. The humanitarian impact is staggering. We're seeing widespread displacement, with millions forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in overcrowded shelters or neighboring countries. Access to basic necessities like food, clean water, and medical care is severely limited. Hospitals are overwhelmed and struggling to cope with the influx of casualties, often running low on essential supplies. The psychological toll, especially on children who have known nothing but conflict, is immeasurable. The infrastructure of entire cities has been decimated, leaving behind a landscape of rubble and despair. International aid organizations are on the ground, doing heroic work, but they face immense challenges in delivering assistance safely and effectively due to the ongoing hostilities. The world has not been silent. The conflict has dominated discussions at the United Nations, with the Security Council holding numerous emergency sessions. However, reaching a consensus has been difficult, with member states often divided, reflecting their own geopolitical interests and alliances. This has led to resolutions being vetoed, stalling decisive international action. Diplomatically, various countries and regional blocs have attempted to mediate, proposing ceasefires and peace talks. Some nations have taken a strong stance, imposing sanctions and cutting diplomatic ties, while others have called for de-escalation and dialogue, offering to host negotiations. We've also seen a massive outpouring of humanitarian aid from governments and private citizens around the world. Billions of dollars have been pledged to support relief efforts. But getting that aid to the people who need it most remains a significant logistical and political hurdle. Public opinion globally is deeply divided, with large-scale protests and demonstrations happening in major cities, some in support of one side, others calling for a general peace. This international pressure adds another complex layer to the conflict, influencing the decisions of world leaders. So what does the future hold? It's a difficult question with no easy answers. There are a few potential scenarios, each with its own set of challenges. One path is a prolonged, low-intensity conflict that continues to simmer for years, punctuated by periodic escalations. This would mean continued suffering for civilians and a perpetual state of instability for the entire region. Another possibility is a full-scale, multi-front war, drawing in neighboring countries and international powers. This is the nightmare scenario that diplomats are desperately trying to avoid, as it could have catastrophic global consequences. The most hopeful path, though perhaps the most difficult, is a negotiated political settlement. This would require immense courage and compromise from all sides, as well as sustained, unified pressure from the international community for any lasting peace to take hold. The root causes of the conflict, the historical grievances, the competition for resources, and the deep-seated mistrust must be addressed. This process would involve not just leaders, but also civil society, community elders, and youth representatives. It would require a framework for justice, reconciliation, and rebuilding, ensuring security and dignity for everyone. The road ahead is fraught with obstacles, but the pursuit of a just and lasting peace, however distant it may seem, remains the only viable way forward. Thank you for taking the time to understand this incredibly important issue with us today. The situation is constantly evolving, so if you want to stay informed, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your engagement helps us continue to bring these stories to light. See you in the next video.